Hello, we are the Suavas. We'd like to share our story.
I'm giving up this whole ride is on me. Call it out like a family. Stood up at my time, get around.
Coming from the Samoan culture, and my parents are they're very say tight, with the with the culture, and as we brought up in the Samoan culture, we can be able to see that because they have a big influence on us, and they, especially my mom, she's kind of like the one that taught us everything. Like, but on my dad's side, she's the one that kind of like enforced. But both of them, we just how to say very respectful, of people. So whenever they taught us kind of like have to respect, other people, and mainly like elderly, and even do chores around the house. And as boys, we do more than just around the house. And so that will bring me, now that I can see what they're trying to do. They taught us as a very little, a young age. Now we're all growing up, have our own family. Kind of like now I have to kind of like following what they taught us. So that's basically that how I've been brought up.
Well, for me, my family growing up, it was my great grandma, my mother, and all our aunties and uncles. But I remember the most the influence that I feel that now that I'm older, how everything is tied to my great grandma. She worked what I know now, and how I saw her, she worked really hard. And also she loved God. And now I know that because I saw that on her. She wouldn't miss mass for the Catholic Church. So it was part of her life. So that's how I know God. And how family, like birthdays, very traditional. They will dress us up. I don't know how they did it, but they will find anything. They will make from anything, they make something out of it. That's what I learned, that anything, if we wanted to gather together. So my parents separated when I was very young, but I still saw my dad and my mom. But I learned from my mom is that even though we were not a family together, I always have to respect my dad when I see him and my grandpa because they were part of me. So I love that about my mom, that she never, even though she was a single mom, I still had a dad and I knew who he was. And that helped me a lot because we still was a family. Knowing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the gospel, made me feel that it was more I put my culture, but it was just more than that. And if I embrace that, the gospel with my culture, it helped me. I feel if I didn't have the gospel, it wouldn't be more hard. Because there were times that, like,
What's happening? We taught our kids, a little bit of my culture and her culture. But I think what connects us and help us out, I think, is the church, the gospel. The gospel. Because if I wouldn't have more influence on my culture, then what about?
In my life was the gospel of Jesus Christ. When I find about the church, that's when everything I realized the purpose of what I was here. And high tide, all that tradition, all that love that my family gave me, I can remember, like, even into today when we have traditions like just the Dia de los Muertos, all that stuff, and birthdays. Even Ileana had a big quinceañera, and over here in Hawaii, nobody's seen that. And I remember I did the same thing my parents did. We got sisters cutting paper. They even thought that I spent so much money, but if they knew that we only spent like 3,000 and we invite 300 people. So it was amazing that people help. And that's what I noticed, that when we put family and friends and people, we can do it. You just gotta ask, and things will fall in place. And that's what I learned from my culture, that everything could be possible, and those blessings, you gotta bring them out.
For one thing, also I forgot to say is that, you know, for us, they help each other. You know, that's one thing that I know, that, you know, small or big, you know, something that happened in the family, they always, you know, help each other. And so
I remember when, I'm gonna say a little bit about how we bring culture together. When I became a member, I started going to young single adult dance. When I met Brother Suava, I didn't know that in the Polynesian culture there were more than just Hawaiian. So I thought Brother Suava was Hawaiian, not knowing that he was more Samoans. And so so we met, and then after 6 months, then we got married. But then what I love about his culture, as I got to know his family, is how my family was in Mexico. Family was together, and their traditions were different, but family was first. I can see that they will give to other people, but their family was very in their family, and also helping others. But I noticed that their family was a strong bond. And as we got married, at the beginning it was hard because his dad used to talk to me only in Samoan, thinking that I was gonna learn Samoan. So that part, I never told him anything, but me being 21 years old, and I thought he was mad. So sometimes I told him, is he mad, or is he really telling me? Because he's just telling me to do all these things I don't understand. But I understand now that he wanted me to learn the language and the culture.
But like my wife would say, is that family, that love in the family, that's what, you know, I think keep us going too. And besides the church, our belief. And for one thing that, you know, my wife,
How has having two cultures from Samoa and also Mexico, how has your parents' teachings and just upbringing influenced your family? How have you come together as a family with those different traditions?
What I can say about Ileana is I love my girls, and Ileana, when she came to being the oldest, after having 3 boys, being the oldest of the girls, to me was like a blessing, you know. And seeing her growing up and where she's now, I remember her being this little girl, shy, and always asking me, Mom, what can I do? Very sensible person, always worry about others than herself. And I always told her, it's okay, it's good to have those feelings, it's good to see for others, because you're gonna grow as you do these things. And I remember things like, after a while, when she was 5, we said, oh, I want a sister. She started praying, and the Lord blessed her with a sister. And I see how she used to take care of her, and until today they take care of each other. But I think it started with that, with her own sister, and she has her own friends. And as she grew, I can see that she's very special in her very special way. But what I'm trying to say, I see her as a mother. I'm very happy for her, where she became this woman that I can see that everything that primary and us taught her about the gospel, she can embrace it. She has learned from her struggles, her mistakes, and one of the things that I can say about her is that she's always praying for answers, and I'm thankful for that because I feel that that's what makes Liliana, knowing that she can relate to Heavenly Father and she has come for answers, especially when she struggles in life. She knows what the source and where to go, and that's why I think she became this special person that I love so much.
Yeah. As a father, I always spoil my girls. I treat her as also when I was brought up. My dad always say, "Hey, you take care of your sisters." So all the boys, we don't touch or hit that. So I'm just carrying that on, and that's what I did too. I always, put them as princess of the home. So I see. And
4 years, 5 years since we started, and it started with Liliana's friends, and we just started saying, and they would say, "Oh, Sister Suava, can we bring anything?" I said, "Bring something, but don't worry about anything. Just come," because I feel like some of the students are far away from home. I feel like they need something special, and we wanted to give it to them, share our family stories. We always talk story, and we talk about how we met and how Heavenly Father blessed us and how we met, and I felt like we were bringing there, uplifting them and helping them. And I always tell them, if you guys in the area and we're home, just come over, come eat, don't worry. Some of them, after coming here for Thanksgiving, they will call us, "Oh, Sister Suava, can I come here and stay, or can I come do something with them? You guys are welcome." I feel like they're like our kids too, because they're part of, I believe the BYU, like I said, is a blessing, and anything that we can.
And then when we have the opportunity to ask Ileana if she had any friends, and say, "Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends that they that I want to bring." I say, "How many?" So about 19, 20. I said, "Oh, okay." So we gotta prepare on that first time, and we really enjoy it because like my wife say, they far from away from home. Thanksgiving, that, oh yeah, so right moment, right time to help them and share the aloha too,
Aloha and a good meal, like.
and a good meal. And we really enjoy having them over, just like our kids. Like I treat them as our kids, our family. Say, "Oh yeah, just bring them. I just bring them over, so that we can share the love and also the Thanksgiving with them."